Hello, welcome to Alchemy Yoga Online. My name is Natalia, and thank you so much for joining me today for Happy Hips. Tomorrow is the full moon. It is the flower moon. It is also a super moon. So you may have been feeling a little bit more intensity this week, which is totally normal leading into the full moon. The full moon, I love using the moon cycles to set intentions for practice. So the full moon is a really good time to just simply be, to connect with your breath, to connect with your body, to really go deeper. So today's class is really going to be focused like that. We're going to be doing less poses, less movement, and finding more stillness so that we can connect with our breath, because really the breath is the most important part of the practice. Even in our current climate, it is the anchor to bring you back to yourself. So for today's class, I invite you to grab a blanket, a nice thick blanket that when you roll it up, you can almost have like a big thick tube for a nice restorative pose at the end of class. And if you would like a block, you can grab a block as well. So just take a moment to find a comfortable seat. You can sit your hips up on that nice big blanket. And know that at any time you can pause the video and just come back and join me in whatever pose we're doing. As well, if anything's feeling intense for you today, taking a step back, taking a more comfortable position and connecting with your breath again before rejoining in. Take a moment to bring your fingertips together so that the tips of your fingers touch, your palms are apart, and then bring your hands out in front of your heart space. Before we start, today's class is also going to be a little bit shorter. Take a moment to anchor into your seat. Close down your eyes. Apply that gentle pressure into your fingertips. Rise up tall through your spine. And then just take a moment to notice your breath. Notice your breath moving in and out of your body. On your next inhale, inhale to a count of 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Continue this breath. Inhale to a count of 4. Hold to a count of 4. And exhale to a count of 4. Continuing the cyclical breathing. Allowing this breath to ground you, to calm your nervous system, to bring you fully into the present moment. A few more breath cycles. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Take a deep breath in, rise up tall. Hold the breath, keep sitting up tall. Open your mouth, release it out. Deep breath in, sit up tall. Hold. Let it go. One more time. Take a deep breath in. Hold the breath. This time, as you release, relax your hands back down into your lap. And just take a moment to breathe naturally, finding a natural rhythm for your breath in and out. Just noticing here how your breath feels. And then blinking your eyes open. You're going to extend your legs out in front of you. If you're sitting up on something, you can just come right to the edge of it, allowing your pelvis to naturally tip down. Allow your feet to come hip distance apart. Bring a little movement in. Circle your ankles. And then change directions. Place your hands next to your hips. Bring a slight flexion into your feet. Rise up tall through your spine. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, hinging forward, allowing your belly to come down towards your thighs first. If you need to bring a little bit of a bend into your knees, you can do so. Your hands can land wherever they want to. If you feel you need a little bit of support in this pose, you can always come to the edge of a chair or a coffee table, and then close down your eyes. Bring a slight engagement into this pose. So today we're going to be holding the poses, but we're going to be strong, finding stability. Maybe sometimes finding a little bit of discomfort and using our breath to move us through those places. I invite you to keep a little bit of opening in the front of your heart space. Shoulders move back, and the belly comes down towards the thighs first. Take one more breath. Release your exhale fully as you inhale, rising back up. Cross your ankles. You're going to come forward into a child's pose. Take your knees nice and wide. Big toes come closer together, perhaps they touch. Send your hips back. Child's pose can be a big ask on the knees, so if it doesn't feel good on the knees, elevate your hips and modify and come into a puppy. Otherwise, hips move back, arms reach forward, forehead releases down to the mat. Take these first few moments to ease your body in, to notice any places you're holding tension. The belly, the shoulders, the face, and allow that tension to melt away. Allow yourself to soften, and then focusing on the slow and steady rhythm of your breath. Sending your breath deep down into your belly, allowing your belly to expand out when you inhale and to soften back as you exhale. And gently rock your forehead back and forth, massaging out your forehead, massaging out that third eye space, your intuitive center. Really trusting and listening to what your body needs today. Take a deep, full breath in. Release it out your mouth. On your next inhale, rising up into tabletop. Inviting a little movement in this space, perhaps moving through a few cat-cows, inhaling as you lift up, exhaling as you round down. But feel free to freestyle in this space as well, moving in whatever way your body needs. Release to a neutral spine. Walk your hands slightly forward from your shoulders. Spread your fingers nice and wide. If you have tight shoulders, bring your pinkies right to the edges of your mat. We're going to set up for a downward dog. Feet are hip distance apart. Tuck your toes under. Take an inhale here as you exhale, slowly lifting the knees and sending the hips up and back. Keep your knees bent, your heels lifted. Press the mat away. Find length from the tips of your fingers all the way up through your sit bones. Keeping your hips where they are, gently allowing your heels to soften down towards the earth. They don't have to touch. They don't even have to come close to touching. Just allowing your heels to get heavy and to lengthen. And if possible, arriving in stillness. Sometimes we want to move away from the discomfort by distracting ourselves with movement. See if you can stay with the sensations in your body. Notice the discomfort. Notice the sensation and breathe through it. Deep, slow breaths in and out. Ask yourself, where can I soften? What can I release? Take a deep, slow breath in. Release it out. Take your gaze between your hands, lift up onto your toes, and just begin to walk your feet towards the top of the mat. You don't have to come all the way up. You can always walk your hands back to meet your feet. Slide your hands halfway up your legs. Take a deep breath in. Find length in your spine. Exhale, releasing forward fold. You can soften your knees. Relax your head and neck completely. Hands can stay on your legs. You can hold elbows. You can dangle freely. But see if you can anchor yourself down through your heels. Gently draw your belly down towards your thighs. So there's a little bit of engagement in this pose. Think about drawing your sit bones up towards the ceiling. So while there's softness in the upper body, there's engagement and activity in the legs as the belly draws down towards the thighs and the hips lift up towards the ceiling. If you have to bend your knees deeply to bring your belly onto your thighs, that's okay. Keep lifting the hips up and releasing your upper body down. Take one more breath. Shift your weight into your heels. Ragdoll down. And then really slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, begin to roll and round your way up. Take your time. Take a few breaths to come all the way up to standing. Once you arrive, rolling your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, release them down and back. Inhale, lift them up. Exhale, down. One more time. Come up to the top of your mat. Stand with your feet hip distance apart. Take a deep breath in. Sweep your fingertips overhead. Exhale, soften your knees, folding forward. Again, drawing belly towards thighs. Hands can land wherever they want, wherever they need. Draw the hips up, engaging the hamstrings. One more breath. And then you're going to shift your weight into your left foot. Pick up your right, step it back. Lower your back knee down. If you have props, you can place your hands on blocks. Or you can bring your hands to the mat. And then think about anchoring down through your heel. Releasing your hips forward, but this action of pressing down through the heel, creating a little bit of lift and strength in the leg. On your next inhale, reaching your arms up and over. Gently drawing your low ribs in and down, arms extending up with the palms facing each other. And your back toes can be tucked or untucked. Using your breath. Although we're spending time in nice long holds, today's practice is not a yin practice. We are engaging some muscles as we're holding, creating resilience and strength. You're going to tuck your back toes under. As you inhale, press back through your heel, lift your knee off the mat. You can rise up a little taller if you need and adjust your stance. Keep your back heel lifted. Exhale your hands onto your hips. So the front knee is over top of the front ankle. You want to think about bringing your pelvis, instead of tipping forward, into a neutral upright position. So the back knee might need to bend for that to happen. So find that neutral place. You can keep your hands on your hips or inhale your arms overhead. And then once you find that neutral place with your pelvis, perhaps you press back through your heel, keep your pelvis where it is, and begin to lengthen that back leg back. See if you can soften your shoulders down, unclench your teeth. Feel the flow of your breath in and out. One more breath. On your next inhale, sweep your right fingers straight back. Bring your back heel in and down and arrive in a warrior two. Keep the knee over top of the ankle and just notice if your knee tends to collapse inwards. See if you can press your knee towards the left corner or the left outer edge of your mat. Arms reach forward and back, shoulders stack over your hips. We tend to reach here. So see if you can bring shoulders over your hips and expand both of your arms out. Relax and soften your shoulders. Notice sensation. Breathe through it. One more breath. Exhale your hands onto your hips. You're going to inhale, straighten that front leg. Spin your left toes in so that your feet are parallel. Shift your weight into your heels. Inhale, find length in your spine. Exhale, hinging forward at your pelvis, keeping your spine nice and long. So your hands can either stay on your hips or you can bring them down to the floor. But here's a challenge. I invite you to not hang out and place your weight on your hands. Keep your legs engaged. Shift your weight to the outer corners of your feet. Feel your inner feet anchor down so that there's a lift in your ankle. Feel this energy rising up through your legs and your pelvis hinging forward. If you want the more active variation, hands stay on hips. Extend forward through the spine. Connect with your breath. When things get challenging, perhaps even exhaling out of your mouth, releasing that energy in your body out on your exhale. Bring your hands onto your thighs. You're going to bend your knees and then pull your heels in, coming into goddess pose. Sink your hips down so your toes point outwards. Just taking a moment, you can bring a little movement side to side here. And then see if you can lean back a little, stacking shoulders over the hips. Bend your elbows, palms face forward, coming into goddess. Breathing, grounding through your feet. This is challenging. Sometimes being still, a lot of times being still is more challenging than moving. So can you notice? Can you notice what habitual patterns your body wants to go into when you become uncomfortable? Can you breathe through them? One more breath in. Exhale, hands onto hips. Inhale, straighten your legs. The left toes are going to spin around. So the back heel is slightly back from the toes. The right toes point towards the back of your mat. Bend your knee. We're going to arrive in a warrior one. Inhale your arms up. Shoulders over hips. Notice what this knee is doing. Just notice if that knee is coming in. Shift the weight to the outer edge of the foot. That gentle press of the knee towards the back. And energy extending out from your fingers. Keep your weight equal in both your feet as much as you can. Anchor into your breath. Deep breath in, release it out. Bring your hands onto your hips. You're just going to adjust your feet. So the back heel, you rotate onto the toes. The knee is over top of the ankle on the front foot. Hands on the hips to start. And just taking a moment to bend that back knee and find that neutral position, that nice upright position of your pelvis. Bring your hands back onto your hips. Maybe on an in-breath, sweeping fingers overhead. And then if you can keep your pelvis where it is, maybe lengthening back through the heel. Notice the discomfort. Gently draw your low ribs in and back. Even though your fingers are energetically reaching up, can you soften your shoulder blades down? Can you anchor in this present moment by staying with your breath? Or does your mind want to wander? And it's okay if it does, but just noticing what your patterns are. Deep breath in, reach up. Exhale, slowly and gently lower that back knee down. Bring your hands down to either side of your front foot. You can adjust yourself and your stance as you need. Allow your hips to come forward, but keep that engagement by anchoring down through your heel. Pressing the floor away with the heel of your right leg. Very simple, basic poses we're doing today, but sometimes bringing that mindfulness into that engagement can completely change the pose, can make it quite active. Now you can stay here. You can bring hands onto your hips, or on an inhale, reaching your arms overhead. Keep pressing through that front heel. Deep, slow breaths in and out. Soften your face. Soften your jaw. Send your breath deep into your belly. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Release your hands down. And then step back into a downward dog. Finding length from fingertips to hips, scooping your sit bones up. You can soften your knees. Actively press the floor away. Anchor down through all 10 fingers. Take one more deep breath in. As you exhale, lower your knees down and find your way into a child's pose. Releasing your forehead down onto the floor, even onto your folded blanket, whatever is more comfortable. And soften. Soften your belly. Allow your breath to be received in that belly. And just noticing, scanning your body and noticing how it feels. Noticing places that are warm, places that are perhaps cool. Any sensation, any energy that you feel in your body, just noticing it. Deep, slow breath in. Release it out. Inhale, bring yourself up. We're going to come into seated, and you may notice you're backwards on your mat. You can come into any position. You can stay where you are. And we're going to come into Gomukhasana. So bend. I'm going to give you a few variations because I know this pose can be challenging for some people. So first option is just to extend your right leg and then step your left leg across so that your knee doesn't have to be completely centered, but that's the direction it's going. Or you can fold your right heel in behind your left hip or your left sit bone and then bring your left leg across. You can sit your hips up too if you need. But from here, just taking a moment to place your hands by your hips, rise up tall through your spine. Feel whatever you need to feel in this pose. Can you invite a softening in to the sensation? Now you can stay here, or if you want to take it a step further, inhale your arms out wide. And then exhale, bring your left arm underneath your right. Back of the hands can touch, or you can wrap your hands around so palms come together. Gently lift your elbows up and press your forearms away, just really gently. And now we've invited more sensation into the body. Can you breathe more fully, more deeply into that sensation? Feel a sense of anchoring down in your pelvis. And then arising up through the spine, finding length through the crown of your head. Breathing deeply into the sensation in your hips. Breathing deeply into the sensation between your shoulder blades. Slow, full breath in. As you exhale, unwind your hands, release them down. And just unwind your legs, and we'll shift to the other side. So first option, left leg extends, right leg crosses over. Second variation, you bring your left heel behind your right sit bone and then cross your left knee on top. And if your leg shape doesn't look exactly like mine, that's okay. It doesn't have to. Hands next to your hips. Inhale, rise up tall through the spine. Close down your eyes. Arrive back in the space of your breath. The inhale and the exhale. As you inhale, reach your arms wide. As you exhale, your left arm comes underneath your right. Back of the hands can touch, or you can bring your palms, wrap your palms together. Gentle lift of the elbows and forearms away. Notice where you feel sensation in your body. Can you breathe space into that sensation by sending your breath there, by breathing a little bit more fully into it? Can you lean into it more? Can you lean into that discomfort a little bit more? Where are you holding tension? Can you soften those places? Can you release it with your breath? Deep, full breath in. Exhale, unwind your arms. And slowly unwind your legs. You can just bring them out in front of you, feet nice and wide. Rock your hips side to side. You're going to bring the soles of your feet together in Baddha Konasana. As an option, you can sit up on your blanket. Bring your hands onto your ankles. And if you're sitting in Baddha Konasana, see if you can get to a place where your pelvis tips forward. So that may mean you need to elevate your hips even higher. You have a tendency to lean back in the low back here. See if you can allow that forward tilt of the pelvis. Inhale, find length in your spine. Exhale, walk your hands out, folding forward. And checking back in with yourself. Noticing how this shape feels in your body. Maybe noticing the places you feel sensation. Maybe even noticing the places you don't feel sensation. And anchoring yourself back in the inflow and outflow of your breath. Creating space in your body with each in-breath. And creating an ease and a softening with each out-breath. Each pose is a journey. We never start off in our maximum range at the very beginning. We ease our way into it. Can you allow that to unfold? Deep, full breath in. Release it out. Inhaling, rising up. If you're sitting up on your blanket, you can just come off of it. You can keep the shape of your legs or you can move them. You're going to roll up your blanket so you have a nice long or a nice big tube. If you have a bolster at home, you can also use a bolster. And then just lay your blanket behind you. You can create a little bit of space between the blanket and your pelvis. It doesn't have to be touching your pelvis. And then just easing your way down so that you're supported, so that your head, Shoulders, upper back are supported by the bolster. Allow your arms to fall out. They can come straight out into a T if you have space. You can release them overhead. You can release them down by your sides. Take a slow, full breath in. Sigh it out. Do that 2 more times. Deep breath in. Let it go. And last one. Inhale. And then release, allowing yourself to be completely supported by the bolster. Trusting that that support is going to be there beneath you to catch you, to provide you with stability, to ground you. Allowing yourself these next few moments to receive this rest. To release anything you're holding on to. To let it go as much as you can. To trust more and more with each out breath. Allowing your body to be received by the earth. And you have a choice in this place. You can remain in Supta Baddha Konasana, so reclined butterfly, or you can just simply extend your legs out straight. You can take your feet as wide apart as you'd like. Don't be afraid to take up space. Claim your space. Allow your feet to relax out to the sides. And we're just going to do a little bit of a reset, a little bit of a relaxation, guided relaxation into Shavasana. So you're going to invite tension in. You're going to activate your toes. You can even scrunch them up. Maybe lift your heels up, activate your legs, your glutes, your belly, your chest, your shoulders, your arms. Clench your fists, clench your teeth, scrunch up your face. Bring tension into your whole body. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale out, completely melt down and relax. Spend a couple breaths breathing more space. Exhale, relaxing more. Until that last little bit of tension has completely melted away. Inviting in a softening, a releasing with each exhale. Until your whole body feels relaxed. Your whole body. Feel free to pause this video and remain in Shavasana for as long as you need. Notice the outline and shape of your whole body. Notice the places that feel cool and the places that feel warm. The sensation of your clothing and anything else that your body is in contact with. From this space of awareness, invite movement back into your fingers and toes. You can allow that movement to grow and stretch your body in whatever way you need. When you feel ready, finding your way onto your side, it can be your right or your left. And then shifting your way back up to a comfortable seat. Place your hands over top of your heart. Close down your eyes. Just for the next couple of breath cycles, breathing in and out of your heart space, connecting with yourself, connecting with your own beating heart. Bring your palms together. Gently bow down your head. Just take a moment here to ask yourself, before you finish your practice, before you move on with the rest of your day, what do I need in this moment? What do I need in this moment? And then perhaps honoring that, taking the time to fulfill that for yourself. And bring yourself back, blink your eyes open. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Namaste.